Hey guys, I'd like to talk to you today about the Raspberry Pi and using it with industrial remote I/O. The Raspberry Pi has a lot of digital I/O on board, which is perfect for prototyping, home automation projects. That's perfectly fine. But there are a few problems if you want to use this in even a remotely industrial application. One of them is that this GPIO is not isolated from this piece of silicon that houses the CPU and a lot of other stuff. So even some static electricity could blow out your CPU. So this isn't an ideal situation. So you could use something like this. It's an industrial device that's got digital inputs and outputs and analog inputs and outputs. And let me put a couple scenarios out there as to why you'd want to do this. For starters, if your application was separated by distance, these have radios in them, so they can go hundreds of feet up to miles if you have the right antennas. So your Raspberry Pi can stay cool in whatever environment it needs to be in. This is actually class 1 Div 2, so it could even be in a explosive atmosphere. It has an industrial temperature rating. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of these two working together. My wireless I/O is achieved by the Rio Express G308, and then we have a master radio here. It's a G306. So we connect this via serial port to our Raspberry Pi. By the way, you can ignore most of this stuff here. It's just a regular Raspberry Pi, a screen, and a speaker and a proto board. It's just a really convenient way to run my Raspberry Pi. So when I click, you're going to see a transmit light here, and it's going to transmit over, and the digital light up for a couple seconds here. So I'm going to click on digital 1 here. You see it lights up over there, and I'm going to go ahead and do number 2 as well. So I have some analog inputs hooked up over here. I'm going to go ahead and do a read. And if we look in this message object into the payload, I pulled multiple registers. I pulled 19 of them. But number 1 and 2, those are analog inputs. And then this one here is a voltage. So you can tell the battery voltage if things were getting low. I'm going to go ahead and reach over here and turn one of these all the way down. We'll go ahead and read them again. There you can see this one went all the way down to 1. We just have one analog input value and the voltage. So here's the Modbus Register Map for the G308. You can see that we've got inputs, we've got some totalizers, rates for pulse inputs. There's the analog outputs, analog input registers. There is a little complexity here, and that is that the digital inputs is a single register. It's a bitmap, and also the outputs. So you would need to go ahead and decode that to display it or read or write to it. And for more information, you can read about it over at g3ti.com. So anyway, I think this may be one of the most industrial options. These devices, since they're rated for classified environments, they're definitely not as cheap as a Raspberry Pi, but if the application fits, it's a pretty cool way to go. If you want more information on these guys right here, I have another video that show how they work. You can actually pair these remote I/O modules up together without programming and have them. You could actually hook your I/O up to one guy and it mirrors over here and vice versa. So if you don't want to program at all, that could be a way to go as well.